What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so coming up here in the next couple of days, we've got another Democratic talking point going to be coming out. Check this out. State Department may require visa applicants to post bond of up to $15,000 to enter the U.S. Now, I know what you might be thinking, and I'm kind of on the line. I'm not sure whether I like this or I don't like this, right? Because basically, Donald Trump is making people pay a bond, $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000, based upon past violations of visas, like overstays. If you come from a country where there are high amounts of overstays, that's going to dictate how much you're going to have to pay into this system to pay a bond to get a visa to come into the country. I kind of like it in certain sense, right? But then I kind of don't. I'm like, this is kind of authoritarian-ish, right? So I'm kind of on the fence on this one. But let's get into this. Maybe my mind will change a little bit. Like, I just came across this. I hadn't heard about this before, and I was like, that's wild. I kind of like it, but I kind of don't like it. Let's get into it, though. The State Department is proposing requiring applicants for business and tourist visas to post a bond of up to $15,000 to enter the United States, a move that may make the process unaffordable for many. In a notice to be published in the Federal Register on Tuesday, the department said it would start a 12-month pilot program under which people from countries deemed to have high overstay rates and deficient internal document security controls could be required to post the bonds of $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 when they apply for a visa. Now, look, I totally get this, right? Especially the one where they're talking about internal document security controls, right? This is, low tier, third world countries over here that don't really do much background checks on their citizenry. Look, I totally get that because this is a precautionary measure. This is one reason why I kind of like it, right? You get these terrorists coming in, they could just get a visa. They don't have to come across the border illegally, although they would probably want to. In a lot of cases, you're not going to be able to do that anymore, not under the Trump administration, not really. I mean, it's still possible, but it's much, much harder than it was under Biden. So, look, I get this. It is just that easy to just, hey, get a visa and come into the country the legal way. Then you don't have to worry about ice breathing down your neck, right? That's a good thing. So, these countries that don't do proper fully vetting of these people that come into the country, like we just a lot of times take their word for it. So it is what it is. If you want to come into the country, you're gonna have to pay some money. I totally get that one. But the tourist visas, yeah, a lot of people do come into the country on a tourist visa because that's the easiest one to get, and they overstay that and they end up being here illegally. I get that as well. But, once again, this is kind of taking liberty away, and it kind of goes against what this country represents, right? Freedom and liberty and all that good stuff. I get it. I totally get it. I could go both ways with this. I'm kind of leaning towards this is good because we need to slow down these people coming in that come in intentionally, right, to overstay their visa and stay here illegally, right? People that love to abuse the process, love to abuse our good nature and take advantage of our laws and break our laws. I totally get that. That needs to come to an end. So we need to send a message. And he's putting together a pilot program to do just that. I get it. Once again, still kind of iffy though. The proposal comes as the Trump administration is tightening requirements for visa applicants. Last week, the State Department announced that many visa renewal applicants would have to submit an additional in-person interview, something that was not required in the past. In addition, the department is proposing that applicants for the Visa Diversity Lottery program have valid passports from their country of citizenship. A preview of the bond notice, which was posted on the Federal Register website on Monday, said the pilot program would take effect within 15 days of its formal publication and is necessary to ensure that the U.S. government is not financially liable if a visitor does not comply with the terms of his or her visa. Aliens applying for visas as temporary visitors for business or pleasure, and who are nationals of countries identified by the department as having high visa overstay rates, where screening and vetting information is deemed deficient, or offering citizenship by investment if the alien obtains citizenship with no residency requirement may be subject to the pilot program, the notice said. So basically that's wild. That covers a lot of ground. You know, these countries that just give out citizenship willy-nilly, like over in Europe, for instance, where you could essentially do an in-run around the process, or, you know, do an in-run around Trump's travel ban from these terrorist nations, and you could go to Europe and they'll give you citizenship because compassion, I guess, and open borders. Why not? I don't like open borders, but that's what they say. Open borders. Come on, come on. You've been oppressed. You live in a third world country. Come here, we'll give you citizenship. That would be doing an in-run around Trump's travel ban. That means terrorists could go to Europe. England. I meant to say, not Europe. England or France or Germany or somewhere, and just get a citizenship right quick. And then boom, look, hey, no travel ban for them. They could just come right over here to the United States and plan whatever the hell terrorist attack they want. So, you know, Donald Trump, he's just trying to tighten up the strings a little bit on this, and I get it, taking precautions. I understand. Totally understand that. The countries affected will be listed once the program takes effect, it said. The bond could be waived depending on an applicant's individual circumstances. There you go. So if you're poor and you want to just come here for a visit, maybe they'll waive that fee. That's a possibility. So there you go. Hey, I'm all on board now. The bond would not apply to citizens of countries enrolled in the Visa Waiver Program, which enables travel for business or tourism for up to 90 days. The majority of the 42 countries enrolled in the program are in Europe, with others in Asia, the Middle East, and elsewhere. Yeah, like I said, that's what I was talking about, by the way. You could just go from a terrorist nation to Europe somewhere and get a citizenship card or whatever, and then make your way over here to the United States and plan out your attack. Visa bonds have been proposed in the past but have not been implemented. The State Department has traditionally discouraged the requirement because of the cumbersome process of posting and discharging a bond, and because of a possible misperception by the public. Misperception. I wonder what those misperceptions are. However, the department said that previous view is not supported by any recent examples or evidence, as visa bonds have not generally been required in any recent period. Well, there you go, folks. Look, I get it. He's trying to tighten up the strings. Oh, and currently right now, you know, with bombing Iran and all that stuff, we have these major issues and worries, you know, with Hezbollah and the Houthi rebels and, you know, Hamas over in Gaza making the rounds and doing their thing and hating on the good old United States. I totally understand why they would want to put some restrictions on entry to the country. You ask a Democrat, though, oh, he's banning Muslims. Well, hang on. What about the millions of Muslims that we already have in the country? Like, I never understood that. That whole argument that Trump is banning Muslims. Hang on. There's a lot of Muslims already in the country. Like, do you think that makes any logical sense to try to ban Muslims? No, he's banning people from these Islamist extremist states, for crying out loud. That's where we're trying to stop these people from coming in. He's not banning Muslims outright. It's all absurd, y'all, but it's all virtue signaling, if you ask me. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this, because I find this very fascinating. I think that's all I got on this one. My voice is going out again. I need to work my vocal muscles a little bit. But y'all let me know what y'all think. That's all I got. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.